Okay, please be seated. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Okay. The chair of Choice Africa, Dr. Pascal Leroux, Your Excellency Arnaud Sukwe, Ambassador of France to Kenya, the Chief Executive Officer of KEPSA, Madam Carol Karaoke, my friend Moria for welcoming me home, distinguished delegates, regional stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. It is a profound honor to welcome you to Nairobi for the inaugural East African edition of the Choice Africa Summit. Let me emphasize how pleased and optimistic I am to participate in this forum that offers high-quality networking opportunities. Should I say networking or matchmaking? I don't know. It brings together visionary leaders, entrepreneurs, innovators, and change makers to shape the future of our continent's economic transformation. This gathering is more than just a meeting. It is a milestone for Kenya, for East Africa, and for Africa as a whole. At the outset, I extend my sincere gratitude to Choice Africa and the organizers of this summit, particularly for two key reasons. First, for choosing Nairobi as the host of the inaugural East Africa edition of the Choice Africa Summit. Second, for designing well-chosen and forward-looking thematic areas that directly speak to Africa's transformation. In your concept note, you pointed out that you'll have themes around the Kenya on the move, co-investing in economic transformation, digitalization and technology sovereignty, agriculture and food security, matchmaking and MSMEs and financial institutions, then regional integration and creative economy. The summit therefore aligns broadly with the government's better economic transformation agenda. However, as somebody did say here, governments alone cannot deliver transformation. Kenya's model of public-private partnerships demonstrates how institutional collaboration can drive economic transformation. Africa is no longer at the margins of global affairs. We are actively reshaping our engagement, asserting our agency, influencing global norms, and establishing institutions that embody our values. The Choice Africa Summit is a clear manifestation of this shift. It has become a platform where African voices lead, our priorities define the agenda, and our solutions drive action. Kenya takes pride in hosting a forum that amplifies our voices and accelerates its rise. This summit contributes to regional integration, which is one of the long-standing goals of Africa's transformation. I am delighted that for the first time, the summit is being held in this region as part of the forward-looking strategies to accelerate East Africa's transformation. Kenya remains committed to regional integration as a catalyst for economic transformation through initiatives such as LAPSET, the Northern Corridor, regional connectivity projects, and active participation in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We are dismantling barriers, connecting markets, and creating economies of scale. These initiatives pave the way for Africa's next growth cycle and deepen continental solidarity. Kenya's digital ecosystem, from mobile money to e-government platforms, demonstrates the power of African innovation. With over 70% mobile penetration and a vibrant fintech sector, we are using technology to improve service delivery, expand financial inclusion, and boost productivity. Beyond access, we must also pursue technological sovereignty by building a digital public infrastructure that is secure, scalable, and rooted in African realities. Platforms like the Choice 100 Africa highlight the young leaders driving change across the continent. Kenya is proud to invest in youth empowerment through education, entrepreneurship, the creative economy, and leadership development. We believe that the future of Africa must be shaped by those who will inherit it, and we must equip them not only with skills, but with platforms to lead. As we look ahead, let us be deliberate in our partnerships and united in our purpose. We call upon all delegates, investors and entrepreneurs and development partners to commit to actionable outcomes. Kenya stands ready to walk this journey with you. We envision an Africa that is not only resilient in the face of global challenges, but radiant in its pursuit of prosperity, equity, and innovation. Let this summit be remembered for not only the ideas exchanged, but for the momentum it generates towards a new era of African excellence. Therefore, I wish you fruitful deliberations during this East Africa edition of the Choice Africa Summit. I thank you. Balozi, Chair, just 2 minutes. One, this is very good for us because it's like a pakasa, a curtain raiser to the forthcoming Africa-France Summit, which will be held for the first time early next year outside a French-speaking African nation. So this is a very good build-up to that final critical event early next year. So we look forward to this. So thank you for bringing your team here to set us up. The second is to just emphasize that we will be committed to work with you. We have no option. At the end of the day, we have to work with the private sector, with the business community. That is where our strength will come from as a continent and as a people. We must integrate. Lessons have come, like electric shocks in the last few weeks. If we have not learned anything from those shocks, then only God can save us. So, as a people, as a continent, we must now figure out that we must find our own space, find solutions, and work with a global fraternity from a completely different perspective. So this becomes important. I was looking at an article somewhere, just to conclude on what I've been told, that there's a clear transition mechanism. You're a member of Choice if you're below 40. And once you hit 40, you become an alumni. That's a predictable constitution, don't you think? You know, it's very clear, predictable, and you know what happens when you get there. You know, this is what we are looking for in terms of policy. You must have clear policies, you have predictable, and then you must be able to enforce them when the time comes for you to move on. So this is something that the business community in Africa must really engage in their respective nations. The need to have predictable and accountable beacons that are known. You know, at certain stages, this is what will happen. You will have to face transition in one way or the other, and then the rules of transition are also defined. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why in Kenya, in spite of all the challenges we have, there are certain critical beacons that we can never run away from. Right now, we have just reconstituted the IEBC because it is critical that the next election is held on time in accordance with the Constitution. That is part of building a nation of credibility, of predictability, and a nation that respects the rule of law. Let us be candid. Is this a position that is really clearly visible in Africa today? How many countries can really speak out and say that we know our election is going to be on this date, constitutionally put in place, and you have to work within that framework? So you have it. These are the critical issues that even within the business community you must engage respective governments in different areas so that this predictability can be put in place. There'll be hiccups as you get there, but we need to have it so that business can thrive in our continent. Our friends in France, they know it. They have their patterns. They know their constitution. They may have their moments of sneezing and coughing as is happening at the moment. But at the end of the day, there are certain predictable positions that are known. Okay, so let's entrench the rule of law very systematically. We are seeing that we want to be transparent. You can see how long it took us to go to court on IEBC, in and out, but eventually we are there. You can see now the issue around procurement. Everybody is saying, no, we don't want e-procurement, we don't want this. They're going to court, but because we respect the rule of law, we'll wait for the courts to go through the process, and we'll then be able to move on. But when you look at one of your themes here, one of your roundtables, it's all about digitalization and bringing technology to government. But you can see what is happening. There's resistance to technology, and everybody knows why. There's that kind of resistance. So we have to keep on moving on this lane. So finally, the story was this. Somebody asked, if you're setting up government, you're setting up entities, always ask yourself, is the future seated on that table? Now, listening to Choice and your ground rules, it's clear the future is seated on your table. Because the young people come in, and as you become of age, you transit, and the future has a permanent seat on the Choice table. So we need to ask ourselves, does the future have a permanent seat in African setups? Is it lip service? Or does the future have a permanent seat in African economic cycles, economic entities, political cycles, religious cycles, business cycles? Does the future sit on the table? Do they have a seat? Are they like the permanent five, the P5, like France, in the Security Council, where the young people will always have a permanent seat because they are the future in our decision-making organs and entities? So I leave that to you. But Choisel, you've shown us the road. So have a good conversation, have enjoyable roundtables, and may good things come out of this gathering. Asanteni sana.
Please welcome Dr. Pascal Leroux, the ambassador of France, Anosuke, Carol, and James for a picture with the Prime Minister.